see if there's more people coming. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Well,
hello.
make yourselves comfortable. We're just starting this first activity of Museums Without Walls 2022 with Dan Lichtman, who's here to my right or left, depends on your computer. We'll just give people some more time to arrive. Had quite a number of people registered for the activity. It's nice seeing all familiar faces, including colleagues and people who have registered for the conference already or are going to present. Just so you know, we are recording the workshop and we might post it afterwards in the Museum Without Walls YouTube channel. So in case you don't want to appear, you can turn off your camera and be more discreet. But I guess that's it. Well, it should take me a while to just introduce everything and introduce them. So let's see people arrive. So funny, don't worry. Anyway, hello, everyone. As I mentioned, this is the first activity of the Museums Without Walls 2022 program. Museums Without Walls is an ongoing survey on virtual art institutions and communities, very much exploring the relations between museums and media. It started last year connected to a Brazilian museum, and this year it's hosted by Queen's University in Canada, which is situated in the unceded territory of the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe people. It's always good to remember, especially speaking of very modern institutions as museums are. Often exploitative, often very much connected to colonial projects. In any case, it's great to have you all here. I'll just go through very briefly, well, a section of thanks to our sponsors. Museum Without Walls 2022 is funded by the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada, and it has the support of many different bodies within Queen's University, including the Department of Film and Media Screen Cultures and Curatorial Studies postgraduate program, the Office of the Provost and Vice Principal, the Office of the Vice Principal Research, and the Faculty of Arts and Science. It also has local support from the Agnes and Terryton Arts Center and from Modern Fuel Artists Run Center. And this year, as I said, we'll have some other activities in the next few weeks. We have an on-site conference here at Kingston, so if you are in Canada, please come. It will be super fun. It takes place between August 15 and 17. I'll post the current program on the chat if you want to check it out later. Even though it's not public yet, we should start opening public registrations for it next week. And we also have a series of online panels from the end of August until the end of September. So please come to that as well. Once again, I'll let you have a sneak peek of the program on the chat in a few minutes. But today we are here with Dan Lichtman for the workshop Disembodied Audio-visual Collage, Collective World Building. And Daniel is an artist, educator, and organizer based in New York City. His work in game making, creative computing, performance, and video explores how media platforms shape contemporary experience of trust and solidarity. Lichtman often works with artists and non-artist collaborators, including caretakers of children, activists, members of do-it-yourself art communities, and students. Lichtman has presented work at the Sika Museum in South Korea, Lucent Art, Rome, Brick Arts and Media House, the Bronx Museum and the Queens Museum, all in New York, the ICA, London, and other venues. Residencies include Slow MoCo, motion computing. Conferences include IDMAA at Winona State University, Domestic Logic at the New School, SLSA, University of Michigan, and the New Media Caucus Showcase, CAA Conference, all in 21-22. Lichtman earned his MFA at Goldsmiths, London, and starting in fall 2022, will be a visiting assistant professor of digital studies at Stockton University. Lichtman, thanks so much for being here with us, and the screen is yours.
Hi, I'm Dan. Thanks, Gabriel, so much for that introduction. I'm really happy to be here, and thanks for having me, and thanks everyone for coming. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay. I'm on a borrowed computer because my computer died a couple of days ago, so I'm hoping things go okay. So I'm gonna share my screen, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce the Community Game Development Toolkit, which is a tool that I've been working on that we're going to use today. But I'm going to try to keep that really short and then mostly focus on making a 3D or a few different 3D scenes together collaboratively. So we'll spend most of the time doing that. Okay, so give me a second. You guys see my screen, and you see my slide?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. I can see a few of you, and I saw a couple of thumbs up. All right, so what is a community game development toolkit? It is it works in Unity, which is a game design engine that you may or may not have heard of. It's one of the prominent game design engines, particularly in education and for artists, but also in larger scale commercial games. But Unity, if you've ever used it, you probably know that it's very difficult and intimidating to use. So what is the toolkit? It makes it easy and fun to create interactive 3D environments and games. One of the key ideas that underlies how we use a toolkit is that you use your own drawings and photos and take your own 360-degree photos and audio recordings as assets instead of, getting into complicated 3D modeling, or instead of getting into kind of like downloading free assets. So it's very, it draws a lot from collage. And especially even, like physical, it works a lot like physical collage with like clippings and pasting images together, but it does it in a virtual 3D space. And then the other big aspect of it is that it has different game components for creating interactivity that you can just use in a very simple way without doing any coding. So we'll get into a little bit of that today. So I'm having trouble. Okay, so this is a mission statement to provide a framework for community members, artists, research activists, and students to explore interactive world building and storytelling as a means for representing their own traditions, rituals, heritages, and research. So it's kind of geared towards communities that may have less, technical experience, less access to technical specialty or special equipment. And it grew out of my teaching at CUNY in New York City with a very diverse student body, and kind of just not quite accidentally, but being happily surprised at how possible it was to use a set of tools like this to tell really interesting, abstract, and kind of surprising stories about students' own kind of cultural experiences and experiences of immigration and connecting with their original cultures, connecting with New York, and telling stories in a way that they might have, not been able to tell so easily if they were asked to like write a story or make a drawing or make a painting. Okay, so how it works, in a way, the main aspect of the toolkit is really simple. It's taking photos of either things or drawings, and then cutting out the background and then putting the thing into your 3D space. So here's a couple examples of that. These are just, this is a painting that a collaborator of mine did. This is a drawing that I did. This is like kind of about the level that I can make drawings at. And then you stick it in your 3D scene. It also involves taking 360-degree photos. Here, hopefully this will load. Here's a preview of what that looks like. Really easy to make these kinds of photos. Okay, the other thing is these game components that you don't need to use code. The most basic and important ones is for creating scene changes. So the toolkit has a system where you basically drag something to your object that you want to be the kind of portal to the next scene, and then you just select what scene you want the player to go to. So really, really simple. The idea is anyone can do this, and the combination of the kind of collage base and scene changes means that with 360-degree photos, it means that you can kind of create these totally interactive 3D scenes. Something that we won't use today, but an example of something else the toolkit can do is putting interactive text over objects, and all you have to do is type the different sentences you want to appear over your object, and then when you play the scene, they will appear. Okay, so just a couple examples of things that have been made with the toolkit. This is a project that I have worked on with collaborators about caring for young children during the pandemic. And with a diverse group of caretakers from a variety of economic situations, straight and gay and queer caretakers, immigrant caretakers, different, people in different living situations and cultural situations who are taking care of children. So I'll just play like a 1-minute clip. Oh, I'm going to share my sound. 1 second. Everyone can still see and hear things okay? Okay. Do you hear that? I don't hear anything. Maybe you do. You do, okay. I appreciate the thumbs up. I'll leave that there. So, okay, so the background to this slide has some of the photos and contributions that contributors contributed to this project. And the contributors included Ian Giles, Helena Hames, James Previtt, David Baumfleck, and Johan Ahrens. And then I'll show you, this is kind of a collage of cutout aspects of these photos and drawings that we collaged into the scenes that you just saw. So this is another example of a project by Teresa Braun, Ayodama Okunsende, June B, and Zhelong Li, called Meta Eternity, and they were using the toolkit as part of a system to make a VR experience and performance that explored kind of speculative possibilities of using VR and virtual space to kind of continue social experience after physical death. So this is some screenshots from there. This is another screenshot, and this has been exhibited in a few different galleries. And this is a screenshot of their performance. And then this is a screenshot from another workshop, which included actually quite a few kids making this collage scene together. And I'll just show you, this is, so this started as a it emerged out of my teaching at CUNY. So this is some examples of projects that students made. This one is about participating in a Chinese music reality show. This is about kind of remembering life before giving up substance use. Yeah, so those are some examples. Okay, so that was the introduction, just to give a little bit of context, but the main feature is kind of doing this ourselves. So what we're going to do, which usually takes, well, the first part is going to be collecting assets. So all of us, everyone using your phones or whatever devices you have, but for most people it's a phone, to collect 1 or 2 photos, one 360-degree photo, which I'm going to tell you how to get, and then hopefully an audio recording, and and maybe a drawing. If you feel like making a drawing, maybe I'll make a drawing. And then we're going to learn how to process the assets on your computer, and then we're going to upload and share them together, and then we're going to compose 1 or 2 or 3 scenes using these assets. And the scenes are going to be this kind of, the title of the workshop, disembodied with a slash, sort of points to this thought that these scenes that we create together are kind of, on the one hand, totally disembodied in the sense that they're virtual and disconnected from each of our individual physical experiences, but in another way, they are kind of embodied. Once you get into the scene, you have a sense of embodiment and this kind of embodied experience of the objects and textures and sounds of, the whole group together. All right, so before we start, I wanted to ask you guys if you have Unity installed on your computer already. It's completely no problem if you do or don't. Usually I assume that nobody has or has ever used Unity. Does anyone have Unity on their computer? Paula, is that a yes or a no? It seems like an emphatic something, but I'm not sure which.
It is a no, a definite no,
no,
but we'll download it now.
You don't have to download it now. I mean, you can if you want, but it probably will take, I'm not going to wait for people to download it because it takes a little while. Yeah.
I completely forgot. Sorry.
Okay, so no problem. That's totally fine. What we will do is you guys will make all the artwork, and then we will.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can I ask questions? Are we going to use Blender?
No.
No. Sounds very good to me because I get lost. I really badly lost with Blender.
I find Blender incredibly confusing and I don't know how to use it at all. That's one of the reasons I teach it sometimes, so don't tell anyone that I just said that. Yeah, one of the things that motivated creating this toolkit and this whole approach is that I don't really like 3D modeling that much, and I think this is a much more fun and intuitive and immediately kind of material way to make a 3D world, in my opinion. Okay, so let's get going. Let me share my screen again. So
one more question. Are you
Sure.
making your tools available to everybody?
Can you ask that again?
Are you making your tools available to everybody? Will we be able to use the tools later on? It's like a Creative Commons. Did you put them on the Creative Commons or something? Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks.
I'm gonna send you the link. I'm sure we'll make the link available in some way. Amy, I am in London right now, actually, so it's 7 p.m. here too. But I don't. If anyone is drinking during the day, that's fine too. So, let's see. What are we going to do first? So, the simplest thing is the photo. Let's do the 360-degree photo thing because it's fun. We're going to do a 360-degree photo I want everyone to take a photo of an object that we can put into our scene. Here is an example of what's going to happen to our photo. So it's good for the object photo if you have an object that stands out from, and then we're going to cut the background out of it, and then this thing could go into the scene. I also want everyone to take a photo of a texture. So for example, like the wood grain on your desk or your wallpaper. Steffi, I see some wallpaper behind you that just gave me that thought. Let me see what else. What do I see? I don't see many other cameras. Paula, like the plant behind you, I guess that's more of an object than texture.
Okay.
Anyway, those things. And then hopefully we will have time to do sound. We'll see. Okay, so first, go on your phone and go to the App Store, whatever your device is. And if you don't mind engaging with Google a little bit, download the Google Street View app. And the Google Street View app is designed, lets you take 360-degree photos really easily with the intention that you post them to the Google Maps, but you don't have to post it. You can just send it right to your computer and use it. If you don't use a phone, I totally respect that. Maybe you'll skip this part. Matt, do you have a way of taking digital photos and putting them onto your computer? Yes, then that's perfect. Amy, you're muted.
Is it this one at the top?
Oh, I can't see.
Oh, it's in reverse, is it? Oh, it's called Street View Map and Navigation.
Yeah.
Is it that? Yeah, that one.
Is it? Yeah. I'll show you what the. Can you guys? That's the icon, at least on my phone.
Yeah, got it.
Sorry, can you show the logo? Is that Google Street?
It's called
Google
Street
View.
View. Street View.
Street View.
I downloaded through Google Play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use Android, but I think that sounds
Yeah, I'm Android, exactly.
appropriate. Yeah, it sounds right. I'm actually using a Windows computer right now
Oh, poor you.
for almost the first time ever. Can the object be alive like a cat? Yeah, sure.
It's not doing anything for me.
I mean, for this workshop, if one individual part of it is difficult or challenging or something doesn't work, it's really okay. Don't feel too bad. You can just, catch up at the next step. And you'll still see what we're all working on and be able to do it yourself another time if you want. So how are people doing with Street View? I see a thumbs up.
Get in there.
Our connection unstable, for fuck's sake. Okay. So we're in trouble. That's it.
Half of it has been downloaded, that's it.
Where are we? Sorry, my bandwidth is very is down, so basically I'm not getting anything for the moment, but I'm happy to watch.
Wait, no, give it to us.
If you don't have a regular ground, it's fine. You could probably see from the examples I showed that this toolkit is not really about perfection and kind of immaculate, collaging. It's kind of a rough and tumble process, but mostly focused on.
You're going to guide us through the 360-degree, Daniel? Done.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if you've got it going, open your Street View app. It looks something like this when you open it. And there's that orange button at the bottom, which means like which gives you these choices to make a new photo. And the bottom one says take Photosphere.
Very different on the Android. Very different.
Oh, really? So maybe someone,
yeah.
do you see an option
Radically
to make a
different.
new photo?
It's
Very
kind of
different.
the same options, but just in different orders. So it's this one called Photosphere at the top.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's Android there.
so
You have to first of all click Create at the bottom, and then click Photosphere.
And what's the thing with the dot? So we fix in the dot. And
okay,
then,
so you see on here and what
Yeah.
you want to do. Okay, so ideally wouldn't, well, I don't know. Maybe a few of you can go outside or go somewhere outside of your room, although, you know, we're all in different rooms in different places, so that's also interesting. But all you have to do is be in the place where you want to take the photo and move your phone so that the dot gets into that white circle.
yeah.
Yep. So then it gets started, and then you just you move your phone around.
And we don't
And
touch at that point. We
You
don't
don't
touch.
touch, it takes it
Okay.
itself.
All right.
And you move all around, and you have to take something like 20 different photos to complete the sphere.
And then we click OK.
And once you're finished the whole thing, I forget exactly what happens, but it will kind of
Okay.
complete the
try.
process. So I'll give you all a few minutes to do that.
Qu'on a appuyé.
So maintenant, okay, I finished the panorama, and so should I import the 360 degrees photo? They say import it. Do we have to give like a? Where do you receive it? Where do we send it to?
Okay, so this depends on your devices and operating systems. If you have an iPhone and a Apple computer, you should be able to share your photo and then airdrop it to your computer. But if you have some other if you have some other combination, you can probably share. I mean, I'm sure on Android there's some way to share things, right? And then can you choose? Can you choose?
We got it.
Choose to put it, you know, get it to your computer somehow on Google Drive or whatever you.
You have to. Can you share it? Can you share it to my email address?
You should be.
Voilà.
Okay.
Ça, c'est le dernier que tu as fait, c'est le
Share.
360.
Okay.
We got it.
Share. Et tu le mets sur.
And then what you should get is a JPEG on your computer that looks kind of all twisted and warped.
So do you know what happens when it stops putting the dots together? Because it just jumped to another screen?
Does that mean that you're finished, maybe?
And where does it go?
So in the app, you should be able to, so at least on the Apple one, on the iPhone one, there's this tab for private, which means the 360-degree photos that you took.
Ah, okay.
And then you see a list of ones that you've taken. And if you click one,
Okay. Ah, super. C'est cool ça.
you can look around it. And then there's at least on the iPhone, there's that share button, the standard share button.
Okay, so now you want. Okay.
Yeah, I can't
So
find
maybe
it. If someone knows where the private is for the Android, please let me know.
yeah.
Okay.
Bah, nous, on n'a pas mis trouvé, non, je crois.
You
Publish button or this share button? That share button?
Non, mais qu'est-ce qui se passe? Parce que.
Non, c'est bon, je l'ai.
Oui.
J'ai trouvé. Donc maintenant, c'est dans tes photos. Tu vas garder dans tes photos pour l'instant.
Ah,
Oh,
Si tu veux,
I
garder dans tes
think I
photos.
found it. And then I click publish to Street View.
mais.
No,
on va faire-
don't publish it
I
to Street.
just pressed the button. It's too late.
Sorry,
I-
Dan. So basically, I now got it on my computer. I emailed it to myself, and I got it on my computer. So do you want me to? How do I get from my computer to your wall or to your virtual?
Yeah. So the goal is first to get it onto your computer, and
Yeah.
then name the file something meaningful. Maybe a 2-word description of what it's a photo of, and then here's a link to a shared drive. And tell you what, in that drive, so that we don't,
We have to rename that.
so that we don't go crazy, I'm gonna make a folder called 360-degree photos.
Okay, all right.
Je suis en train de tout manger, moi. Et après, j'ai tout fini. Ah non, c'est encore des cacahuètes.
All right, so within that link, there's a folder called 360 photos, and put your file in there, and it should be a JPEG file.
So you share with me. So how do I import the new?
Ça, c'est ton truc?
Ça c'est mon truc. Ah, moi, il me semble que c'est mon. Non. Okay.
Tu veux import, moi?
Il faut que je mette.
Oh, maybe profile, is that maybe Android? That's what it's called. Thanks, Gabriel.
J'ai dans tes pictures. Okay.
Ouais, j'ai mis ça et ça c'est cher, donc ça c'est les autres participants qui ont mis ça.
Ah, wow, ok. Attends.
Attends.
You're welcome to post it to Google Maps if you want to.
Either, okay, no. Ça va, c'est intéressant?
Ouais.
Okay, who is, so let's see, I see, cool. So I see 6 in there so far. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll give you 2 more minutes.
Well, mine it says still
On
processing,
met de la musique maintenant.
Ah ouais? Cool.
so it means they're not ready. Processing, it seems. It says processing.
Is that after sharing it to the map or after
No.
finishing?
I think it's before, I don't know. It says Photosphere processing.
If you know, if it doesn't work out for you, it's okay. We'll have plenty to choose from.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 more minute. Oh, I see a lot in there. That's great. So it is working for at least a good handful of you guys. All right, let's next do an object. So an object in your room, and maybe when you're taking a picture of an object, you know, kind of imagine a collage of a kind of 3D collage of all the spaces that we're in. You know, I know we only see a little bit of background for a few cameras, but even if you can't see stuff, you can just imagine a kind of collage space that we're all kind of imagining inhabiting together, and think about something that you would like to contribute to that space, something interesting.
Are you going to take out the background? See, the object should be in a neutral, should be in a neutral environment for you to be easily take out the background. Is that what you mean?
I'm going to talk about how to do that, and each of you are going to do it yourself. But yeah, so take a picture of an object, and we're going to try to isolate the object from the background. And if you don't have a clean background, that's okay. We can work with that. It's, you know, it's easier if there's just like a neutral background, but there doesn't have to be. This is all of this is like a big collective experiment. So don't be stressed about how it's going to end up. Margaret, there's that button down there on the bottom of the phone. So we're taking photos of objects. I'm not going to give you too long to do this because it shouldn't take too long. And then actually, maybe at the same time, I don't know if anyone has any art supplies with them at the moment. Here's a piece of paper. Here are some crayons that I have. That's what crayons look like. And I'm going to draw something. Got my water bottle.
Dan, how do you want us to share the photo of the object?
I will tell you.
All right.
You guys are going to see my amazing drawing skills in a second. All right. I drew a water bottle. This is the water bottle that I drew. So we're going to use the same method for cutting out an object from the background and also taking your drawing out of the background. Okay, so then get your image onto the computer, probably using a similar mechanism, using the share button, or on an Android, is it called something else maybe?
Do you want us to put this also into the 360 folder or a different folder?
Not quite yet. I want to
Okay.
talk about how to get it off the background. Okay, so no, Amy, you did not miss directions. We're going to talk about that now. So there's a few different ways to do this that vary in complexity. The easiest and usually pretty effective way, or one, there's lots of sites on the internet that do this. One of them is, let me just pull it up. remove.bg. That's the URL. I'm going to put it in the chat, although it is just remove.bg. And what you can do is upload your photo, and if there's a kind of obvious object in it, it will remove it, move the background, and give you a PNG. So what we want PNGs for this, because PNGs let you have transparency. JPEGs do not let you have transparency. While you're checking that out, if you have Photoshop, Gabriel, I hope you have a really great object that's perfectly cut out from its background. That's the kind of response I like. So if you are a Photoshop user, there's all sorts of kind of sophisticated ways of doing this in Photoshop. Maybe I'll just show one of them. I'm going to take a picture of this. My drawing.
I created a folder in the shared folder called objects.
Oh, perfect. So once you've taken the background out, you can stick it in there. To put the project in the folder if we are using your own Unity. So you do have Unity, do you? Yeah, put them in so we can all decide together how we want to create our scene. I'm trying to upload one now of the drawing. How's it going with removing the backgrounds? Good. Do you guys have Photoshop on your computer or use Photoshop? I might skip the Photoshop part if most people are not doing that. GIMP. Oh, GIMP can do almost all the same stuff. I totally using that thing, open source software. I just don't really know how to use GIMP or Krita, the two big ones. Does anyone want to make a some kind of drawing like this, or any kind of drawing, and take a picture of it, and then you can take it off the backgrounds?
So you want us to also remove the background of our drawing and put it in the same object folder?
Good question. So let's make a drawings folder also. I'll make one now. Okay, there's a drawings folder.
Pardon. Sorry, we are having trouble with doing like the 3D pictures of the object. Can we just take single pictures, and can you manage with single picture rather than having the Google view picture?
Yeah, so I should have made that clear. We're not using Google Street View for the object. We're just taking a regular picture.
Ah, real picture, then you send like 5 or 6 pictures of different angle. That would be much easier.
Just one picture.
Just one picture of the object.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like very easy to me.
Yeah. The objects are just going to be 3D, I mean 2D surfaces in 3D space, which you'll see what that means in a minute, or maybe in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm having trouble with my phone and my internet, but I'm still trying to send the photo of this drawing to myself. Let's see, meanwhile, let's see what kinds of things are in the folder. Okay, check out the cat. All right, so all right, do we have some, let's check out these objects. Whoop. Okay, let's look at it like this. Whoop. Cool. Nice. Ah, I see. Uh-oh, I see some. Oh no, so did people take, oh no, I see 360 degree. Oh wait, I'm in the 360 photos folder. All right, okay. Interesting looking places. Cool. I like when they get kind of glitchy like this. That's kind of funny. If you move around or things move around, it often gives you funny results. Objects. Perfect. And are there some drawings? Great. Oh wow, someone knows how to draw. Someone made this like layer. I love these drawings. Perfect. Okay, so we're doing great. So let's also, do you guys know how to make audio recordings? Can you find some kind of interesting sound that's somewhere around you? And by interesting, I have the broadest, basically any sound. I love doing field recordings, and I love just recording kind of ambient sounds and, people in the background, any of that, any of those things will work really well in this kind of context to create a kind of ambiance in these scenes. I will send the link again. So on iPhone, you can use voice recorder. On Android, I don't know what you use, but there must be some equivalent thing. So go record, you can record like 20, 30 seconds of sound. It could be like trees, leaves rustling, could be a dog barking, could be the water filter in your fish tank, could be someone watching TV in the other room. Sometimes it's interesting to record sounds of other people listening to music. I always think that's kind of interesting. Oh, Fan, thank you. Yeah, and it's 10 to, okay, so where I am is 10 to 8, which means it's 10 to 3. So I think we're getting there, and then we'll have some time to collage this all together in the last half hour or so. And I think it'll be really fun. So get some sounds, get them onto your computer, probably using the same kind of methods you did before. I still have not sent this photo of the drawing, unfortunately. I have a sound of some waves. So maybe well, you'll hear it maybe when we edit the whole thing. So when you're adding your sounds, try to make the names. So I see one, birds and foghorns. That sounds like a great sound. Try to make the names concise. So I'm going to change the name of that to just birds and foghorns instead of with the date and stuff in front of it. It's a synth improvisation. That's fine. That's good. Yeah, I mean, you know, a little bit of electronic sounds can go a long way in these kinds of scenes also. Maybe I'll play it for everyone while you're, I guess maybe it's a little distracting while you're finding your sounds, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, actually, I can't hear it. Can you guys hear it?
It's like barely audible.
Okay. I can't, it doesn't seem like I can hear it while I'm sharing my screen. It's all right. If one thing doesn't work, we'll choose another thing.
We can't hear you if you're talking. Are you muted, Dan?
Oh, now can you hear me?
Yes, no.
Yes. Okay. Apparently there's a mute button on the keyboard, which I didn't know about. Okay, do we have some sounds in there?
Yeah, there's a nice selection of maybe 10.
Oh yeah, loons. Ooh. Aircon. Wortman Ave 11. Washing machine Brixton. Perfect. This is perfect. Okay. Normalist version is an AIF. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let's get into the toolkit in Unity and compose some of this stuff together. So give me 1 second. All right, so okay, this is Unity, and this is the application for creating games. And usually, if you're like a game developer, you would have a team of people making your 3D stuff in some other program and doing your sound design in other programs, and then you bring it all into here, arrange it in the scene, and do lots of computer coding to work together. But what we're going to do is a lot simpler. So I just want to explain the different parts of the window so that we understand what's going on. The project the project tab down here, although it's possible it would be somewhere else if you install Unity yourself, but this is usually where it is, shows you the files that are connected with your project. So for example, and usually files are called assets. So the main assets that we'd be using are the things that we've just been creating, like your photos of objects, your sound files, your 360-degree photos. So we're going to bring them into here, and I'll show you how to do that. This is the scene view. This is your view of the scene. This is like an empty default scene that has the kind of like a horizon and a sky with nothing in it. This is the hierarchy, which is different than the project folder because this is showing things that are in your scene. And if I change scenes, so here's one that I was making just now to kind of make sure everything was working on this other computer that I'm using. There's a few things in this scene. There's this picture of from like a pita, a bag of pita bread that I got. And there is a cube here, which is just like a cube in the middle. And there's a player. We're going to talk about that. But so this is where we're editing, editing our scene. And then over here is the inspector, which gives you all these different, whatever thing is selected, it lets you change all the different qualities of that thing. And we're not going to really have to worry about most of that stuff, maybe just a tiny bit. Any questions? You don't have to completely, the goal of the workshop is not during this hour and a half for you to become, an expert in Unity. It's more just to understand the basics of how the toolkit works. And then hopefully, with some more time, if you want to pursue it yourself, I think you'll be able to make some of this stuff work, even if you've never used Unity before. Okay, so let's get some of these things into our project. So one second. All right, so here are our 360 photos. Let me share it. Nope, I shared the wrong thing. 1 second. Here. All right. Let's hear some voices and kind of hear what you guys think. What do you want? And you can also look at it on your own computer if you want. What do you guys want to, work with first, for example?
I love the glitchy one and the hallway with all of the conduit above it.
This one?
The glitchy, yeah, that one and the glitchy bedroom one. I thought there were like two glitchy bedroom ones that were really fun. Or like room, I don't know, they had like a green planet.
Yeah. Like this one.
Yeah, that one.
Who else has, yeah, I think those are both interesting ones. Who else has, oh, look at this. Someone's in a real studio. Who else has some thoughts or opinions? Well, it's kind of interesting with is it a skylight that makes it look like that on the top? Here's another kind of glitchy bedroom. Wow, interesting. Ooh, is that me on the screen? Wow, that's so weird. Okay. You guys see that? What do you guys want? What do you think? What should we? Okay, I see the Isabel. Which one is that? Fan looks cool as a bit of glitch. Oh, this one. Let's try that one because that one is pretty strange. So, all right, maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll do these two. So I'm gonna download this. Download, and then maybe I'll do the corridor.
Sorry, I'm having big trouble to collect my sound from the apparently my internet connection is very bad.
Okay, so don't worry about it, and we'll just use some of the ones that we managed to get on the drive. All right, so I've downloaded my assets, and I'm going to show you how it works to get it into Unity. Just going to close some other stuff. Oh no, can you guys still hear me? Okay, 1 second. My computer seems to be having a little bit of. Okay, I'm just going to share my whole screen. Hopefully there's nothing untoward. Okay, so there's my shared drive. If you have a Mac, it's going to look a little bit different, but it's almost the same. Basically, here is the downloads folder. And I think the things I just downloaded are here. So I'm going to give them names. It's really helpful to name things, name your files. Okay, so I'm going to call this, I'll call it Glitch Room 360. It's also really helpful to put 360 in the title. And this one must be the corridors. Yeah. Corridor 360. Okay, so now how do I get it into my project? So in your assets, there's this folder called Community Game Development Toolkit, and you can open up, see some of the folders inside, and it's kind of organized for you already. This is stuff that the toolkit uses itself, and then these are places where you can put your assets. So 360-degree photos. It comes with some examples in here, but I'm going to just drag. I'm going to drag the things we just downloaded into there. Corridor 360, Glitch Room 360. Okay, so this has a couple steps. Most of the things in the toolkit have been automated so that you don't have to do any of these steps, but there's a few steps to make 360-degree photo background. I'm going to call this Glitch Room Scene. So I made a new. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to show you this whole process. So I'm going to right-click here and create scene, glitch scene, and then I'm just going to delete the one I just made. Okay, so here's my glitch scene, and now I'm going to find my. I'm going to make a. I'm not going to really explain this part because hopefully soon it will be added to the toolkit that you don't have to do this, but I'm going to make a material. And there's a tutorial, or there will be a tutorial on the website for how to do this too. And I'm going to change, put it skybox panoramic, and then just drag this to there. I'm going to call this glitch room. Okay. The rest of it, you won't have to do any stuff like that. So I'm going to put it in there. And now it's in our scene view. And if I press this hand tool, I can look around this 360-degree photo. So, pretty cool. Let's go back to our shared folder. and let's find some objects. Who wants to stick some objects in here? It's easiest with voices.
Harold's face, the dog. Is that Harold, Steffi?
It is
This one?
Harold. And this is him in real. Really, he's such a baby.
All right.
My vote's,
I'm gonna
yeah, my
download.
vote's on Harold.
All right. I downloaded that one. Who's got another? This is kind of interesting. Maybe I'll take that one. One more? How about someone I haven't heard from? Someone whose voice I haven't heard.
I really like the plush penguin.
The plush penguin.
Oh, you skipped by it. It was just below, down below.
Okay. Got that one. All right. And let's get, tell you what, let's get some drawings. I think there's not as many drawings. Wow. Interesting. This cube is kind of interesting. Let's get that. And how about this lighter? Okay, so now I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get these in my downloads folder. Okay, so okay. So this is, ooh, okay, that's the lighter. So I'm just going to call that lighter drawing. I'm going to call that cube drawing. That one is penguin, right? Penguin. Crackle box. And what is this one? Selena, there's tutorials for all of this stuff. It's a little bit in progress, but there's tutorials for most of this. Dog face.
I got a silly questions. Will you use the data from when we registered? I think when I registered for the event, I said that I want to be kept in touch with the promoter of the event. Will you use this database to send your informations?
Maybe Fan or Gabrielle can.
Or is it better if I just put my email address in the chat so that you can pick it up and put me on your mailing list?
How about I'll put my email address.
Okay.
And you email me. That's a good way to get the communication going.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got some. Okay, we've got like 20 more minutes or so.
Envoie-moi ton folder. Pareil, la même adresse, je mets dans mon folder.
Non, mais ça, c'est moi.
Okay, so I have these drawings and there's a drawing folder in here. So I'm gonna select these and drag them to here. And then I've got a photos folder and I'm gonna select these, drag them to there. All right, so now we can do kind of the post along with all references that Dan is sharing. Yeah, totally. So now we've got our scene and I can move around a little bit and the tutorials on the website tell you how to do all this stuff. So let's put some of these things in the scene. I'm thinking now that maybe this is quite a busy scene. So anyway, we'll see how it looks. So let's put, okay, I'm just dragging that in. And then some of the basic tools, and here's the rotate tool. It lets you turn it around. And you'll see that it's really just like a 2D thing in the scene. Change the scale. There's the tutorials on the Toolkit website tell you how to do all this stuff too. So making it kind of bigger. You can stick the penguin in there. We can move it around like this, move it backwards and forwards. Turn it around a little bit. And okay, we could probably stick the dog in there. Maybe we should move around a little bit. All right, let's put the drawings in there. And sometimes I like to do things like make it really big but put it, put it kind of behind. Let's see, this looks interesting. It's kind of interesting to have like subtle things here. Bigger. And one interesting thing you can do is another nice reason for naming things that they go into the list of objects here with a nice name. You can also copy and paste to make copies. So now I have all these copies that are right on top of each other, but I could, let's say, move this, move these. All right, so now we've got a scene. One thing we need is a player. So right now the scene doesn't have any mechanism for playing it, but that's really easy with the toolkit. You just open this folder, go to player, flying. So flying means that it doesn't walk along the ground, just goes up in the air. And all you do is drag this to the scene. So once again, you don't need to remember this stuff. It's on the website. And then always do play it is press this play button, and let's see. Hopefully. Okay, hang in there. Okay, so I'm just moving around with my mouse. And then I can move the player in space with the keyboard. So I'm looking, there's the kind of like 360-degree photo as a background. Really funny background. And then I can move around the scene. And then now I've gotten past all the objects, but I could turn around and see the back of them or go, now I'm kind of going sideways. All right, so we've got about 15 minutes. Should we add some, what I want to do, I want to make another scene, and I want to make a way of the player getting from one scene to the other, and I want to hopefully add some sound. So let's make another scene real quick. This was glitch scene. What was our other? The other one was corridor. So I'm going to make a new. I'm going to just hit Control S. I'm going to make a new scene. Maybe I'll do this one a little bit less by committee and just do it real fast. Okay. Create scene, corridor, scene. So I get my default scene. Let's go here. Okay, so this is like that one complicated part that hopefully the toolkit will be updated so it just does it by itself soon. I'm gonna drag this to there. There it is. And then let's just look around here. Cool. Okay, and let's get some more. Let's get that one. That's pretty cool. Maybe I'll rename it here. Paper clip drawing. I really like this drawing of a torso, but it would take a little bit of work to cut the background of it. So maybe I'll skip that for now. Download. Tree, always love a drawing of a tree. Let's get some objects. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't actually mean to click on that, but tarot card can never go wrong. It's pretty interesting, kind of tree sculpture face. Crystal. Let's go for that. Plant. Okay, that's a bunch of things. Now maybe see if I can find them. That is plant. Crystal. Sorry that you have to kind of watch my computer be a little bit slow. Oh, I see a bunch of chats. What do they say? This, oh no, now I forget what was, oh, that was the wooden sculpture.
It's a mask.
Mask, okay, perfect. Wood mask. All right, now let's put them in real quick. So these are all objects, right? Put them in, I can just put it in photos. Maybe I should change photos to objects. And then I've got a few new drawings, tree drawing, no, that's paperclip drawing. Okay, so now we'll go to our scenes, corridor scene. Put, oh, I thought we did that already, maybe not. Okay, photos.
I feel like the font should be really big.
Really big, okay. Sure, I always like fooling around with scale. Tarot card. One thing that's good to do is like move around while you're composing so you don't make everything from just one. Well, this is a nice combination of things, I think. Or maybe I just think that because I picked everything, I don't know. And let's put some drawings in there. All right, and put our player in there. Let's play it. Okay, we've got 10 minutes, guys. Hang in there for 10 minutes. Is everyone, how's everyone feeling about this stuff? I can't really see you because I'm sharing my screen, but you can
it's
use
cool.
your voice.
Thanks for doing it. It's great.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
if you need some extra time for the workshop, don't worry too much. I'm sure, yeah, we are here for this. I think originally I had set 2 hours for each of these activities, but of course.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, of course, people might have to leave, but I'm sure that other people might be interested in staying. And if you have the time, yeah, don't make it too stressful for yourself.
Okay.
There's no reason makes you.
I mean, I teach all the time, so I'm really used to kind of making things fit into schedules, but maybe we'll go a little bit over an hour and a half. All right, so we've got 2 scenes. And the things I want to add are like a scene change, which basically just lets us move from one scene to another, and some sound. So let's do the scene change first. What do you guys think? Okay, save. Oh no. Okay, there it is. Gonna delete that. Here's my glitch scene. All right, what do you guys think should be? So there's going to be an object where if we like pass through it, if we pass through it, it's going to take us to the other scene. What do you guys think it should be?
The cube.
A cube. Okay, yeah, we can do a cube. So to make a cube, I go to create cube. There it is. Livia, did you just say that?
Yeah.
Where should we put it?
And I think by the window.
Interesting. Actually, one weird thing about this, which you would understand right away if you're playing it yourself, is that the stuff that's in the 360 background doesn't easily correspond to like a location in the scene. But what we can do is put it more in that direction. That sounds a little abstract, but if you're playing this, if you're navigating yourself, you would see. Okay, so to make this a scene change object, all I do is go to scene change here and drag it to the cube. And then I look in here, I find the scene change area in the inspector. There's tutorials for this, by the way. It would be interesting if you have tips on whether the assets can be triggered in some way. Maybe we'll come back to that and you can tell me what you mean by triggered. But now all I do is select from here what scene I want to change to. And the first ones are scenes that come with the toolkit. And these are ones that we've made. So we're currently in the glitch one. So we want to go to the corridor scene, I think. So let's try that. So we gotta find. Oh, I see the cube over there. Oh no, you know what? It might. I wonder if it didn't work because usually I do it with a not a cube, but like one of the pictures. So, but that's a good thing to point out because I think it should work with a cube. So I'll fix that. But let's pick one of the pictures that we put in just for now so that it hopefully will work.
There is the cube drawing. It's like not a 3D game object,
right.
but the actual.
Yeah.
Actually, when I said the cube, I thought
that's what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But then you went for the object. I'm like, okay, let's see that too.
That's really funny. That makes a lot more sense. I sort of thought, oh, you must know about Unity and know about making cubes. Let's do this one. I'll do a small one.
Drawings exist as sprites?
So one of the things about the toolkit is that it tries to do a lot of the stuff behind the scenes in Unity for you. So they have to be turned into sprites, and it does it by itself. Sprite just means kind of like 2D image that's used in the game.
That's amazing to bypass that part.
Yeah, so there's all these scripts that run in the background that kind of monitor what assets you bring in and do this formatting stuff by itself. So for example, it doesn't do that yet for the 360 photos, but that will be something that I hopefully add soon so that you don't have to do any of these steps like making a new material and stuff like that. Okay, so let's try to make this one a scene change. There's no sprite. I'm gonna just delete this cube. Okay, hopefully this will work because this is how it's supposed to work. So this has the scene change area in the inspector. So we're going to choose corridor scene. Let's try this. I think I see it over there. Yeah, we got into here. And then let's, oh, I really like this scene. Okay. Let's make a scene change element in that one. Maybe that takes us back to the glitch room. So I'm going to save this. Open the corridor scene. What do you guys think should be the thing that moves us? Any thoughts? Jennifer, if you said something I didn't hear.
Oh, I was going to say something, but Minotti said the same thing. The tarot card seems appropriate.
I
with
think
the wands.
Yeah, I think the tarot card is good because it looks like a surface that you can move through, but also tarot card is like this kind of symbolic thing that takes you to this other kind of narrative space. So, and these are the kinds of things that you can think about with, you know, if you spend, you know, we did this very fast, but if you're doing this yourself, you can create scenes and create, you know, interactive narrative and think about what the visual elements mean. And then, so we can choose this, go back to the glitch scene. Try it. So I'm moving around, looking around. I really like this mask. Move to the tarot card, looking around the tarot card. Oh, are we? Yeah, now we're in the other scene. I mean, one of the things I like about this is that you end up with scenes and 3D worlds that look kind of the opposite of most kind of commercial ones, and the sterile nature of most kind of like free assets or 3D assets that you make. Yep, and then we go back and forth. Any questions so far? So once again, the goal is not necessarily that you've seen this and now you can do it all yourself instantly, but to kind of give you an idea how it works.
I have a question about, instead of using a skybox, could you use, I guess, a sphere? I guess you would have to reverse the normals or something so that you can actually see it on that side of Unity. But and then to have some kind of like collider on it, so the flyer can only go to the edges, because yeah, it seems like you could accidentally get away from your geometry if you kept going in one direction.
Yeah, so that's a really good idea. I haven't thought of that. Yeah, it's definitely possible. So one quirk about the skybox is that wherever your player moves, you don't get any closer or further from anything on the skybox, which is a kind of an unnatural way to experience it. So I think your idea, I mean, it's also kind of unnatural because it's not a real 3D, it doesn't have 3D information about the depth of all the things in like the spherical image, but it could box you in maybe in a useful way, and you would still get closer and further from parts of it. Do people understand Jennifer's, was that Jennifer's question?
Yeah, it was me. Oh, I don't understand. I mean, I'm not saying they understand it yet, but yes, it was Jennifer.
Yeah. So the question was, it's a little bit of a technical question. Maybe we won't go into it now, but if you play around with this yourself, you'll see that the skybox thing is a little bit counterintuitive, because when your player moves around a scene, you feel like you're moving towards something in the skybox, but you never get closer to it. So right now it's a little bit of a cheat. It's just like an easy way to create like a rich, fun background. Any other questions? Okay, let's try to add some sounds, and then we'll call it a day or call it a night, depending on where you are. Where is, okay, share my screen. Okay, this might end up being a little difficult because it seems like I can't hear the sounds easily. Hopefully it'll work somehow though. So sound loons. Okay, I'm gonna download loons because you can't not use a loon sound if you have one. Who else has any? Have you listened to any of these yourself? Anyone?
Wire sample.
Wired simple. Can I hear it? I'll download that.
If you like it, you're welcome.
Washing machine Brixton. Is someone in Brixton in London right now? I'm in London right now, so I'm going to download that.
I am also. Woolwich.
Me too.
Woolwich.
You too.
Bermondsey.
Bermondsey.
Wow,
Amy.
we're so close.
Yeah, and I'm in near I'm in Southwark near the Tate right now.
Oh wow. And are you all going to Kingston?
I'm not able to go,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I wish I was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a few sounds. Let's
Are you still a student of Goldsmiths?
Me?
Yeah. Yes.
No, I went to Goldsmiths 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sophia. Anyway.
Now I'm a professor. Wait, no, I think let me see if I can, you know what, there's no folder for sounds right now. So I'm just going to create a folder for sounds. And here, sounds. I'm going to open it. All right. All right, here's some sounds. Oh no, Photoshop is opening. That's not what I wanted. I'm gonna bring these into Unity. I think Unity will play MP4 files, but we'll see. Who could tell me how I'm like forced something to, oh no, error while reading. Maybe it doesn't do MP4s. Interesting.
think
people
it
did a
does
direct
take
recording,
MP4.
it might not have been an MP4. If people did direct recordings, it looks like they are something else, M4A. Something else.
Oh, MP4 is a video, that's true. M4A. That's a bummer.
I'm just going to admit that my file is a MP3, but it also has me singing on it, so it's there in the MP3 format. Yeah.
Okay, singing and water, perfect. Let's see if it will take. M4A is the same as AAC, I think, which I guess it, yeah, I guess it doesn't want that. All right, let's see if it'll take the singing and water. See what how it reacts to that. Okay, it sees that as a sound, and if I play it, will I hear it? Do you guys hear it?
Yes.
Yes.
You do. So weird. Why do you hear it but not me? Yeah, I don't think I know enough about this computer I'm on to fix this right now, but
good singing, by the way, Gretchen.
Singing in the rain, if I'm singing in the shower, but I won't tell it to you now.
You can send it to us. Okay, so let's put a sound on here. I have this wave sound, which I can't hear now, but what if I take out? Okay, I hope this doesn't mess everything up. I'm gonna take out my headphones. Can you guys hear me still? Yeah, okay, I cannot. You use speakers. Oh no, I hope I don't get stuck. You guys I don't hear anyone. You guys talking?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, cool. Perfect. And now let's see if I can hear. Ah, okay. All right, so let's do this. One thing that, makes you can put a sound on anything, but, one thing that might make sense is to put a sound on a thing that will take us to the next scene. So let's, for example, am I sharing my screen? No, I'm going to share my screen again. All right, we're going to wrap up pretty soon, but let's put this sound on here. There's a few things you have to do for this that I would like to incorporate into the toolkit so you don't have to think about it yourself. One thing is I'm going to turn on loop and I'm going to put this on 3D, but hopefully I'll fix it so that it does it by itself. So I'm going to play it and see. Let's see what happens. You guys hear the sound? All right, so it should be getting a little quieter as I move away. Louder as I move towards it. Kind of adjust the settings. I'm not quite sure. How to do this in a kind of automatic way. Let's maybe leave it for now. But so there's this. I don't kind of expect people to fool around with this kind of stuff too much, but maybe I'll figure out a way for it to happen automatically so that it's scaled the right way. leave that for another time. But right now it has sound, and it should be, okay, min distance, max distance. Maybe I'll just put that, make that a smaller number. Okay, quiet. It gets louder as I go closer to it. Let's put a sound in the scene. Save this. Okay, so we've got one other sound that works, the singing one, and maybe we'll put it on the dog, and put it to, okay. Wow, what a nice sound. Where are we? Oh, I forgot to put on loop. All right, and let's just, I don't know, maybe fool around with this a tiny bit more than. So I'm trying to move away from it. Still hear it. Well, maybe it's something to kind of more, but the idea is so that you can move around the scene and hear different sounds as you move from one object to the other. So there's that, and then we can go to the other scene. Wow, they put in water. Never go wrong with water. Cool. All right. Let's leave it there. So maybe we could just have a couple minutes of discussion. What do you guys? What I want to write, also write. What did some people said some really useful things that the sphere thing. And there was a few other. What do you guys think? Who has any thoughts or comments or suggestions?
Yeah, it's been really nice. I have a question. If you wanted to have more like a story now to add to it, either through a voiceover, how would you do it? Would it be through the sounds?
If you want to do voiceover, it's really, I'm gonna.
Or maybe just some words or to create more a personal narrative, maybe. I was just wondering, that would be,
I think she can
like,
still do it. She can do all the art first, and after.
Yeah, you can just record a voiceover or have someone else record it, and you can play one in each scene. There's no, like, it's really easy to do, but there's no obvious part of the toolkit for doing that yet. So, but I think that.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah.
We lost it. The sound.
Amy.
It's really great, really interesting. And what I like about it is the simplicity as well for working with different communities. So when you're the simplicity of working.
Cool, thanks.
So when you are composing something with a group, like for instance the caretakers group or a community group, how do you then how do you actually administrate the composing together? Like if you want there to be a story, how do you make those decisions? Like, because that seems like equally exciting to me as part of it. And yeah, I'd be really interested to know a bit more about that part of it.
Yeah, that is a really, I mean, that's I would say that's like one of the most interesting, not yet totally kind of explored parts of this. So for the example that I showed in the beginning with the caretakers, I did all the composing. Right now, there's no easy mechanism for collaboratively composing the scenes. I think that involves like a pretty big step, more technical stuff, but I'm really interested in that, and it would be a really great you know, like next step for the toolkit.
Sorry, can I just add something?
Yeah.
Go on the filmmaker side, the new way of working is basically creating what they call a Bible. So basically you create each character who are involved in your stories, and basically you give them backgrounds. So basically you develop the background of each character. And when basically you got your 5 or 6 characters, you start doing the narratives. So basically that's where you build your story. So basically because we are on multi-platform, and basically the platform you're providing is like kind of a video games platform, is the identity of the characters is very, very important. For the screenwriter, so the screenwriter is somebody who come after that, pick up the characters and write down the stories, what's happened to each characters. So let's say that basically I want to be a social worker, and basically, so I would basically give myself a name, give all the definitions and the backgrounds that I do, the thing I do. I go around giving advice, for instance, and basically this is like my characters, and basically you can develop every step of the character. So basically you got the mood, you got basically what he like, what he doesn't like, the way he usually behave. Basically you can, I would say like Maigret was like basically a big Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot's got like some very specific way of dealing with things. And basically, so that's it. You create your character with all the characteristics of the character, and basically you give it to a screenwriter who will start writing stories about it. That's sorry.
I didn't completely catch all of that because the sound was cutting out a little bit, but it sounds it sounds like a great approach to think about characters and their backgrounds.
The basic is basically creating the Bible, what they call the Bible. I got one on basically I got like anyway, I got a book where basically they just describe what all the characters are and what's how the character behave and everything. So this is all developed characters by characters. And basically when you got the characters, you basically pass it on to the screenplay writer, and basically they will start developing. EastEnders is the big one. EastEnders, and basically every character in EastEnders has been developed first, and basically they got like all their definitions. And from there, those characters are given to the screenwriters, and the screenwriters start writing stories about it. So that's why it basically changed, and you got like multiple numbers. Because basically, if you do the opposite, and if you start writing the stories first, basically the stories got a beginning and an end. If you start writing the characters, the specificity of the character, they can live forever. Doctor Who, for instance, basically been living forever.
I mean, maybe, you know, maybe somebody could, or a team of people could use the toolkit and employ some of these types of methods that you're talking about. I think that would be.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just for me, the tool is still a little bit hard to access. I will need to go through the how you use it and stuff like that, and find out if I can use it. But anyway, it's a learning process. It's a learning process.
There's documentation online that helps, but also we could be in touch with it. Thanks for your comments. Gabrielle.
Sorry, it's just that now we are really approaching like our final cutoff time.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks so much, Dan, for sharing these tools with us. They are really amazing. Like, as someone who have tried before to get more people involved in creating these kind of things together, it's always good to find ways to make it more organic and more approachable, because especially 3D, software. It requires a different mindset that most people aren't used to. I'm not used to, so what I'm talking about. And it's really amazing to see all these elements from our surroundings being digitized so quickly and becoming this collective space. So yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks, I really appreciate that. That's a really nice comment. I mean, it's something I'm really going for, is to make these things really quick and intuitive and leave most of the space for kind of creativity and exploration instead of technical expertise and headache. And also collaboration. Yeah,
it is a great tool to work together for collective world making. It is a really great tool. I can see the potential, and I'm going to try and use it. Absolutely.
Great, thank you. I'm putting my email address again. If anyone wants to stay in touch with me, please feel free to email me, or I'm sure if you lose this email address, you can reach out to Gabriel and he'll give it to you, or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming. I really appreciated doing this activity with you.
Thanks, folks. Before you leave, I'll be posting the program of the conference and of the online seminar we will be having later on the chat. So if anyone wants to follow on that, in any case, we'll be sharing it online from next week onwards. And once again, thanks so much, Dan. A round of applause for you, and everyone have a nice day. Enjoy the upcoming weekend, and I hope to see you soon again in other Using Without Walls activities.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me, and thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, Dan. It was great.